सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वं निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वं निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे।
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। तस्यान्तस्तिमे लोका तप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी। So it is Shri Bhagavan Vacha idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidiyate vetadyo veti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. So in this chapter of 13, we had studied the Bhashya for the Shloka 21. Purusha prakritisto hi bhumte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasad yoni janmaso. What it means is, this Purusha, that is the sentient consciousness principle, in erroneous connection with the insentient Prakriti principle, is taking over upon itself the attributes of the Prakriti and considering itself as the body-mind complex, is involved in samsara. So this wrong identification is the cause of samsara. That's what is stated in this shloka. So there is a little small part remaining in that Bhashya. Bhagavad Gita is summarizing what has been stated there. Etaduktam bhavati. Prakritistatvakhya avidya guneshu cha sangaha kamaha samsarasya karanamiti. So he is putting in a very short, concise manner what has been stated in that shloka and the long Bhashya. Prakritistatvakhya avidya. So the avidya is being defined as wrongly identifying oneself with the attributes of Prakriti. So Prakritistham is actually seeing oneself as no different from Prakriti. So that is the idea here. That is called avidya. Guneshu cha sangaha, and the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, and the contact with those gunas and attributing those gunas to oneself, that is kamaha. So that is called desire. So in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, a sequence has been taught: avidya, kama, and karma. So avidya is pertaining to the ignorance about one's own true self, which is purna swarupam, nitya mukta swarupam. Since that is that vision is lost, that is not recognized, a person comes to think oneself as a finite being and desires to acquire some things from outside and trying to somehow make himself purna. That's called kama. And then this kama will result in executing the things desired by him, and that will be the karma. And karma will be either dharma or adharma, and as per that, a person will be definitely taking up one body or the other. So that is the idea. So avidya, kama, karma. Tacha parivarjanaya uchate. So that has been stated. This has been stated with a view to overcome or give up that avidya. That has been stated here. That is why this shloka is pertinent, and it's very, very important, because as we recall last class, the Adhyasa Bhashya has been given in a concise manner in this Bhashya. Asya cha nivritti karanam jnana vairagye sasanyase gita shastre prasiddham. So what is the means? How does the person come out of this avidya? For that, Bhagavad Gita, this is a sadhana which involves vichara, Vedanta vichara, and it should be preceded by jnana and vairagya. So this also can take place only when a person is in this mode of sannyasa. That is, he should have freed himself from all the other distractions and give himself totally to this pursuit. This is what is very, very popular or very, very clearly stated in the, or very prominent teaching in the Gita Shastra. Cha jnanam purastat upanyastam kshetra kshetrajna vikshayam yajnatva amritamashmite iti. And that jnanam, Bhagavad Gita says, jnana and vairagya, And what is that jnana? That jnana is Atma Swarupa Jnanam, and it involves the jnanam about the anatma also. So only when the correct knowledge of the anatma is had, a person can see that anatma in himself and give it up, or give up the identity with the anatma. And the true nature of the atma also has to be learned from the shastram, so that he can claim himself to be that atma, which he himself is in truth. So the shloka is cited by Bhagavad Gita of this same chapter, Yajñātva Amritamashnute. So by knowing this Atma Swarupam, a person attains to liberation. Uktam cha Anyapohena Atadharma Adhyaropena cha. And this has been stated in a very concise manner, or in a very logical manner in this chapter itself by Adhyaropa Apavada. Uktam cha Anyapohena Atadharma Adhyaropena cha. So first, the tattva was taught to be an attributed one, or something which is connected with the world, and immediately that has been denied by showing that there is no real connection at all. That connection was stated because the truth is so subtle, and without any upadhi attaching to it, it is extremely difficult to know the truth. So an upadhi is superimposed on that, and when a person is able to recognize the truth there with upadhis, his next step will be to give up those upadhis, deny those upadhis, and know the truth as nirupadhika Brahma Chaitanya. So uktancha anya apohena. Anya apoha is to separate oneself from the adhyaropita amshas. Atad dharma adhyaropenasya. So, and by superimposing the non-atman on the atman. So Bhagavad Gita is stated here in the opposite manner, but in the shlokas, or in the logical way, is first adhyaropa and then apavada. So then we are now moving on to the next shloka. Tasyaiva punaha sakshat nirdeshaha kriyate. So that Atman, that Brahman, which is the Kshetrajna Swarupa, which has been taught in the earlier shlokas and all that. Neyam yatat pravakshyami yajñātva amritamashnute anadimat param brahma nasattan nasudhyachyate. So that shloka is the one which has first introduced what that Kshetrajna Brahman is. That is the consciousness principle is. So now some more information about that consciousness principle is given here with a view to recognize the consciousness principle and come to a firm conviction that one is that. So in here also many attributes which are not there in consciousness really are being superimposed on the Atman and taught, so that we can somehow recognize it, even through the way of method of connecting it to the world, connecting the Brahman with the world. We are trying to recognize the presence of the existence of that Atman, and when we get some more conviction about it, the connection with the world can be severed. That's the idea. So now this shloka goes this way. Upadrashta Anumanta cha Artha Bhokta Mahesh cha apyuktaha dehe asmin purusha paraha. So this is shloka number 22. Upadrashta Anumanta Artha Bhokta Maheshwaraha. So all epithets which will be explained by Bhagavad Gita in a very detailed manner in the Bhashyam. These are all the way in which we can relate ourselves to Brahman or with Brahman. And these are all available in our own body, inside our own body. Upadrashta, Anmanta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwaraha, Paramatme Chisha Pyuktaha. He is called also Paramatma. Dehe Asmin Purusha Paraha. So clearly, this shloka itself says that this Paramatma is not to be sought somewhere outside, but it is to be known inside one's body. So that is the idea. So one has to know, recognize this consciousness principle inside one's own body and claim oneself to be non-different from that. So that is the message of this shloka. So Bhagavad Gita gives a very detailed explanation to each of the terms mentioned in this shloka. So first he takes a Upadrashta. Upadrashta, Samipastaha Sanna Drashta Swayam Abhyaprataha. So Upadrashta, the word contains two words. It's a compound word, samasa, upa and drashta. Upa is an upasarga, that is it's a prefix. Upa is prefix and drashta is the one which is the observer, or which is the principle, that is the consciousness principle, which is the one which illumines everything. So upadrashta, upa is the word, the upasarga, upa, that is the prefix upa has got several meanings, and depending on the context, one has to take the meaning. And that's why it has been stated that upasarganam anekarthatvam. That is upasargas. There are many upasargas. They have many meanings. Many shades of meanings are there. And so here, upa means samipa. It is very close. In the words like terms like upavasa, upanayana, and all that, this samipyam is being stressed there. So upadrashta is samipastaha san. Drashta drashta swayam avyaprataha. So this Atman is called upadrashta because it is so very close to us. It is situated very close to us, and it is also observing everything that is happening in the body-mind complex. Sans drashta swayam avyaprataha. That is, it is observing everything, but it does not involve any vikara in the observer. So when we see something or when we observe something, we do it with our body-mind complex, with our organs and all that. So naturally, there is some vikara in us, definitely. Even if we are seeing a picture or a film or whatever, with our eyes, there is some vikara happening in our body-mind complex, in the organs, in the mind and all that. Whereas in the case of Sakshi, that is the Atma, Pratyekatma, no such vikara will be there, because this observing does not involve any organs or mind and things like that. Because the Sakshi itself does not have any organs and mind and all that. So it is a drashta without any vikara. Avyaprataha means without any action involved. It is an observer. We can say something like a CCTV or something like that. Or CC camera, a closed circuit camera. So we can say, give some kind of a comparison. Yatha, it is an example for that, a Vaidika example. Yatha Ritvik Yajamaneshu Yajna Karma Vyapriteshu Tatastaha Anyaha Avyaprataha Yajna Vidya Kushalaha Ritvik Yajamana Vyapara Gunadoshanam Yikshita. So he is giving the Vaidika example of a yajna, and it's very nice to see this feature also. In the fourth chapter of the Gita, there is a famous sloka, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. So in that sloka, which is meant to teach the nature of Brahman and the nature of the Jnani, who has realized himself to be that Nirguna Brahman, this shloka is doing that, conveying that through the medium of a yajna. It is giving the imagery of an yajna there. So in a yajna, so many factors are involved. There is a yajamana, there will be yajamana patni will be there, and there will be lots of rituals will be there, the officiating priests to carry out the yajna, and there will be yajna dravyam, and there will be a homakunda, and there will be dakshina. So many things are there involved. And that shloka says that everything involved there is Brahman. So before knowing the truth, a person was involved in a yajna like that, and he used to see each of these factors as different from each other. But when this jnana dawns, that difference goes off, and he sees everything as non-different from Brahman. So that is the idea of the shloka. So there also the shloka itself is taking the yajna imagery to convey the truth. So here also Bhagavad Pada is bringing in an yajna imagery to convey the truth that this Atman is a non-performing or a passive observer. So that is the idea. Upadrashta swayam avyaprataha. It's a passive observer. So he is giving the example for that. Ritvik Yajamaneshu. So Ritviks are there. Yajamana is there in a yajna. Yajna karma vyaprateshu. They are all actively participating in the yajna. Ritvik is also actively participating by uttering mantras and all that. Yajamana will be there to put the offering in the Agni and all that. So, yajna karma vyapriteshu tatastaha anyaha avyaprataha yajna vidya kushalaha. Among these people, there will be one who is different from these people and who will be an observer. He will not have any role to play actively like this, but his work is to supervise the yajna. So, so naturally, he should be someone who is possessed of a lot of knowledge about this yajna. Only he can act as a supervisor. So when such a supervisor is there, if anything goes wrong in the procedure, he will be there to point out. That's his role here. So he won't be doing anything, but his job is to simply observe. And if there is something going wrong, he will be doing something. He will be giving some corrections and instructions and all that. But then this element will not be there in the case of the Sakshi. So the other elements will be there. That's why this example is being given here. Yajna Vidya Kushalaha. So he is someone who is an expert in this, in Yajna. Ritvik Yajamana Vyapara Gunadoshanam Aikshita. So he is the observer of the guna and dosha of the people who are involved actively in this process. So he will be appreciating the gunas, but if there is dosha, he will definitely point out. Ikshita. Tatvacha karyakarana vyapareshu avyapratah anyaha tad savyaaparanam samipyena drashta upadrashta. So for this one word, upadrashta, Bhagavad is spending so many lines. So this upadrashta, in this case of the Brahman in our body, tadvacha karyakarana vyapareshu. So here in the place of Ritvik, Yajamana and other, here our body-mind complex, that is the karya is the Sthula Shariram and Karana is the Sukshma Shariram. So Indriyas will be naturally functioning all throughout the day. Karya Karana Vyaparesho Avyapritah Anyaha Tad Vilakshana. So when when the body-mind complex is fully active, this Sakshi, this is the Atman, is distinct from the body-mind complex and it is not active, it's passive. Avyapritah Anyaha, it is distinct from that. So it is not only different from them, from the body-mind complex, but it's also totally of a different, of an opposite nature. So when the body-mind complex is fully vikaravat, this Sakshi is avikari. So it's the vilakshanaha. And when the body-mind complex is made of prakriti, this Sakshi is purusha, that is the Chaitanya Swarupa. So this way we can draw so many distinctions or differences between the body-mind complex part of it and the Atman. Atman's role and presence. Tesham karyakarananam savyaparanam samipyena drashta. So this Atman is the one which is very closely situated to this body-mind complex, and it is an observer of this body-mind complex. So whatever happens in the body-mind complex, it cannot escape the eye of the Sakshi. Samipyena drashta upadrashta. Athava, he gives another interpretation for this. Deha chakshur mano buddhyatmanaha drashtaraha tesham bahyaha drashta deha tataha arabhya antaratamashcha pratyak samipe atma drashta yataha paraha antaratamaha nasti yatah paraha antaratamaha nasti svaha atishaya samipyena drashtritvat upadrashtasya. So second interpretation. Then there is a third one. So the second interpretation is Athava Deha Chakshur Mano Buddhyatmanaha Dashtaraha. We can also say on the this has been very nicely explained in the Drishya Viveka. So there the first level drashta is our organs, that is the sense organs, because sense organs are the ones which are the closest to the contact with the outside world. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha is the outside world, and our sense organs are designed to contact those objects outside. So that way, since they are contacting them and getting information from them and supplying the information to the manas which is inside, the organs are said to be drashtaraha. And Bhagavad is combining all of them here. And in the first level of drashta are the organs. The second level is the drashta is the mind, and the third level is the Atman. So there is no fourth level beyond the Atman. So the first level drashta and the second level drashta, they're all combined together in this word, in this compound word by Bhagavad. Deha chakshur mano buddhyatmanaha drashtaraha. So the body, the Sthula Shariram, chakshus is the indriyas, all the organs put together. Manas, buddhi, atmanaha, buddhyatmanaha, drashtaraha. It's here. Atma can be taken to be the ego sense or the ahankara or the anandamaya kosha. So all these are actually the ones which are interacting with the outward world and knowing things and interacting with it. to put it even more precisely, the karmendriyas, so the jnanendriyas are there to get information from the outside world, and the karmendriyas are there to supply something or to react to the. So that way they are separately stated. Tesham bahyaha drashta dehaha. So the of this body-mind complex, which has been stated to be the observer, the extreme outside observer is the body, sthula sharira. So because that is the one which is in the closest contact with the outside world. So tesham bahyaha drashta, that is tesham madhye bahyaha drashta dehaha. So the sthula shariram is the drashta extremely, that is the at the other extreme. That is the drashta at the other extreme. But then the Atma will be the drashta at the other extreme. That is the innermost drashta. Tataha arabhya pratyak samipe Atma drashta. So from the body-mind complex onwards, going inwards, the antaratamaha. Antaratamaha is the supreme, extremely inside, innermost one. Tama is the superlative degree. Innermost one is the pratyak samipe Atma drashta. So this pratyak is the pratyak Atma, that is the innermost self, and that is the one which is closest to us. In the sense, when we consider ourselves as an entity which has the body-mind complex or identification with the body-mind complex, this Atman is the closest to us. And that us and the Atman are not really different. So from that point of view, it has been said to be closest. Otherwise, it's actually we ourselves. That's why our Jyeshta Mahasanidhanam, in an analogy, he said, if someone were to hold a child very close to his body, he is actually embracing the child, hugging the child. Even then, there is a difference between him and the child. But then, in the case of the Atma is so closest that there is no difference between oneself and the Atma. So that way, we can appreciate the Atman's position or the status. So, Samipe Atma Drashta Yada Paraha Antaratamaha Asi Drashta. So, beyond this Atman, which is the innermost self, there is no other Drashta beyond that, because there is nothing beyond that. That is the ultimate. So, Nasti Drashta Saha Atishaya Samipyena Drashtutvat Upadrashta Syad. Since this Atman is the overwhelmingly close drashta, it is called upadrashta. So you can see the difference between the first interpretation and the second one. Athava, the yajnopadrashtatvadva sarvavishayi karanat upadrashta. So here he is giving the third interpretation by drawing from the yajna analogy. Yajna upadrashtatvadva. Just like the drashta, that is the Brahma there in the yajna, who is an observer, passive observer, passive participant. Yajnopadrashtatvadva drashtatvadva sarvavishayi karanat. Since this Atman is having everything as its object, that is, Atman objectifies everything. It is the subject, it is the ultimate subject, and from its point of view, or relative to that, everything else is objectified. It falls under the Vishaya category. That is again, we are forced to recall the opening sentences of the Adhyasa Bhashya. Yusmad Asmat Pratyaya Gocharayoho Vishaya Vishayinoho Tama. All those things are available in this Bhashyam also. So, Yagnopa Drashtra Vishayi Karanat, because everything else, Yushmat, the Yushmat is distinct from the Asmat, and everything in the Yushmat is Vishaya, that is observed or the objectified, and the subject is the Vishayi, the Asmat. So, Sarva Vishayi Karanat, Upadrashta. So, that way also this Upadrashta can be explained. Then he is coming to the second term in the Shloka, Anumanta. It is not Hanumanta, it is not Anjaneya, it is Anumanta, the one which permits, Anumati, permitting, literally permitting. But Bhagavad Pada shows that it is not literally permitting anything. Anumanta cha, Anumodanam, Anumananam, Kurvatsu, Prakriya, Tat Kriyasu, Paritoshaha, Tat Karta, Anumanta cha. So, Anumodanam, anumananam kurvatsu tat kriyasu. That is, whatever action is happening, this Atman is as though applauding it or encouraging it or permitting it. So anumodanam, anumananam, kurvatsu tat kriyasu paritoshaha. So that that is what is the kind of a gift or a present that is getting, that the body mind complex gets from the Atman, paritoshaha, or the one which is happy about the things that are happening, paritoshaha, that's karta anumantacha. So that the one who applauds or permits or approves things which are happening is called Anumanta. He is giving another interpretation to that. Athava Anumanta Karyakarana Pravrittishu Swayam Apravartopi Pravritta Iva Tadanukulaha Vibhavyate Then Anumanta. So the second interpretation for that is Karyakarana Pravrittishu. That is, when the body mind complex is active, Swayam Apravartopi, even though the Atman is not having any actions to perform here, not having any actions here at all, it doesn't act at all. Pravritta Iva Tadanukula. It is as though it is doing something which is favorable to the or the conducive to the activities of the body mind complex. Vibhavyate, Anukulaha Vibhavyate. It is known or thought to be something which is conducive to the actions performed by the body mind complex. So, see, this we have the concept of manasakshi or the antasakshi. Whatever a person does, this sakshi will definitely know that, and he cannot escape the sakshi. So, if the sakshi is very favorable to him, he doesn't see any opposition from that at all. So, pravritta iva tadanukulaha vibhavyate tena anumanta. That way, it is called anumanta. Then, athava, another interpretation is given. Pravrittan swabhyapareshu tat sakshibhutaha kadachidapi na nivarayati iti anumanta. This one is very interesting. Athava pravrittan swabhyapareshu pravrittan tat sakshi, whatever activities are initiated by the body mind complex, by that jiva, that ego sense jiva, this sakshibhutaha atma kadachidapi na nivarayati. It never prevents the body mind complex from doing what it is destined to do or what it is intending to do. Na nivarayati iti anumanta. So here this is very interesting, because sakshi is, since it has been defined as akartartve sati bodhartvam sakshitvam. So even though it is not doing anything, it is a witness. So that way it is a knower or the illuminor. That's why it's called sakshi. So here the body mind complex might be doing whatever depending on its or impelled by the vasanas. So if the person does things driven by his vasanas. So whatever he is doing driven by his vasanas, this Atman which is inside, it doesn't prevent him from doing. Even if he's doing something wrong, it doesn't prevent him from doing. So that prevention or something like that, it has to come from one's own samskaras only, but not from the Atma. So that way, this Atma is a passive observer, and it won't prevent anything. So for that, so sometimes this example is given in a room which is lit with light. Two things can happen. A person can study under the light and do some very good positive work, or there can be a person who is assembling a detonator or something like that, is something destructive. So for both, light is required, and that light is impartial to the activity that is going on under its influence. So that example can be taken here. So this Atma, this Anumanta, will not prevent anybody from doing whatever he is destined to do. That is the idea. So here we will end this session. There's much more to be covered in this Bhashyam. Shastram Sharira Mimam So Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharya Santume Janma Janmani Kshetragnam Chapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata Yoveti Tampahu Kshetra Kshetra Jnanam Yetta Jnanam Matam Mama विद्याविनय संपन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्त तत्त्वज्ञं विदुषेखर भारती।